Genki 1, Lesson 3. This is what we're covering today. We have 8 sections to cover today. The highlighted one in white is polite verb conjugation. That is going to be the main part of this lesson. It's the hardest part in the book, probably the least complicated section in reality. I think it's pretty straightforward, and I'm going to show you why it's straightforward today. Lynn asked if I'm planning to do the full lesson 3 today or cut it in 2. I'm going to do the full thing. I'm going to do the whole thing because we're averaging out to really long streams, so I'm just going to truck through the whole thing and see how far we can get. So section 2 is the present tense, which is basically what we just covered in section 1, but a little bit more detail. We're going to be covering the particles o, de, ni, and e. We're going to be going over time references, how to reference time in particular, polite invitations, frequency adverbs, and word order, and a little bit more about wa. Luckily, I have insomnia. So, as in the previous lessons of the new section, I'm going to go through each section straight through. I'm not going to look at chat. I'm just going to go right through it and cover everything, and I'm going to stop for questions at the end. Now, that means that the first section is going to be very, very long, and I might pause for drinks and whatnot in between. But anyway, keep that in mind. Finally, if you're watching this on the replay, there's going to be timestamps to each section down in the comments and probably in the description as well, so you can just skip around to what you want to actually cover for the day. So are you ready? You ready for this, everyone? Let's go ahead and jump into the Japanese polite verb conjugation. The first advice I give everyone when we go into the lesson 3 lesson is that you just need to either ignore or rip out pages 86 and 87. I think in the second book it's 88 and 89. You shouldn't actually rip them out because there's some important stuff on the back of those pages, but seriously, it's probably better if you just ignore them. Hopefully, I can sort of explain why clearly today. The main reason is the way they teach you to memorize verbs. Now, what I say is that you should memorize dictionary forms first, but what the lesson 3 in the book suggests is that you should memorize verb conjugations as sets. So basically, when you memorize a verb, you should memorize its dictionary form, its polite present tense, and its polite negative, and all these other conjugations. Well, let me just tell you that that is an extreme waste of time. Like, it's just way too much work. It's too much memorization because in Japanese, when it comes to conjugation, there's some very simple rules that can be followed for every single verb. And if you learn those rules, you can conjugate literally any verb into the language into its present tense or whatever tense we're covering. Today we're covering the polite present tense and the polite negative. So, another thing that the book sort of is, I think, missing the mark on is that it has you memorize them as do and u verbs. I'm going to explain why that's a problem later, but I prefer to call them godan and ichidan verbs or just u verbs and iru and edu verbs. That's a little bit easier to understand, and you'll see why a little bit later. But let's go ahead and jump into it, and I'm going to give you the advice I give to everyone when they start memorizing conjugation. It's to memorize the dictionary form first. That's the form of the verb you're going to find in the dictionary. Memorize that first when you're learning new verb vocabulary, right? Then you're going to memorize the rules for conjugation based on the ending of the verb. So what does that mean? Well, all verbs in Japanese end with an u syllable. Not with the u character, but with the u syllable. So, here are all the possible endings that a verb could have. U, ku, su, tsu, nu, mu, gu, bu, and du. If a word in Japanese ends with one of these characters, it's probably a verb. So the way that you make the Japanese polite present tense is that you create the mas verb stem and then add masu, masu. And that's it. But I know you're probably going to ask, what is the verb stem, right? Well, I'm going to teach you how to make that, and that is the easiest thing to do. This, I believe, is the easiest conjugation in the Japanese language, and this book, these 2 pages, make it sound like it's some complicated magic. Now, the second edition is much worse than the third edition. The third edition is a little bit clearer, but the third edition still follows the same sort of premise of learn them as do and do verbs and then memorize the masen, like the present and the negative, along with the dictionary form, like memorize them together. And I don't think that is very efficient. So we're going to learn the rule to make the verb stem. First, for godan verbs. This is what the book calls verbs. So, to make the verb stem for godan verbs, we need to take the syllable and turn it into an syllable. Now, that does not mean to take the character and turn it into an character. It means to take the sound and turn it into So what does that mean? Well, this is what it means. For a verb that ends in we'd change it to so in that case, yes. For a verb that ends in ku, we'd change it to ki. For a verb that ends in su, we change it to shi. For a verb that ends in tsu, we'd change it to chi. A verb that ends in nu, we change that character to ni. A verb that ends in mu, we change it to mi. Gu becomes gi, bu becomes bi, and do becomes a di. Now you'll see that right here, I have two little stars, and that's because do is the only character that is treated a little bit differently sometimes. And that's what the book calls do verbs. We're going to call them ichidan verbs or idu and edu verbs. I also have a star here with su and shi. You notice that it doesn't become si. That's because there is no si character in Japanese. So su, to make it the e sound, becomes shi. This is incorrect. There should not be a star here. The star should be down here on chi. So tsu becomes chi because there's no t sound in Japanese. Okay, so let's see what that looks like in practice, because just looking at this is a little bit confusing, I think. Let's look at some actual verbs. We're going to go back and look. Now that we have the verb stem, the mas verb stem, we know that we just have to add mas to whatever that is. So, first godan verbs. Here's a list of verbs. We've got utau, which is a verb that ends in u, and it means to sing. So we're going to take that character, change it to an and we now have the verb stem. That is our verb stem. Let's go ahead and get our furigana out here, right? The verb stem of utao is utai. And we add mas, utaimasu. And we now have the polite present tense of utao. For a ku verb, we have kiku, which is to listen. To get the stem, we change ku to ki. And we have kiki, and that is the verb stem. Then all we have to do is add masu, and that is the present tense of kiku, which is to listen. Kikimasu. Su, we know from the last page, su becomes shi. So for the verb hanasu, which means to speak, we change su to shi, and we get hanashi. That's our stem. All you have to do is add mas, hanashimasu. Now this is true for all ku, su verbs and everything we're going to cover up until do. They're all going to be this way every single time, without fail. I'll cover the very few exceptions a little bit later, but they're all going to be like this. So you just need to memorize this simple rule. So tsu verbs become chi, right? So matsu, to wait, becomes machi, machimasu, to wait. Andy, something is happening to the camera. Okay. Let me just stop really quick. Sorry. Of course, that's going to happen every once in a while, and I'm going to be way out of focus. Awesome. I need to fix that. Okay, so next we have matsu, which is to wait. Matsu, tsu becomes chi, so we get machi, that's the verb stem, and we add mas, and that's machimasu. Nu becomes ni, and our verb for that is to die, shinu, and that becomes shini. We add mas, shinimasu, and that's it. Now, I want to mention one time, and I mention this all the time when I talk about shinu, that there are only two verbs that end in nu in the entire Japanese language. One is shinu, which means to die, and the other is inu. Now, inu also means dog, but the verb inu is also a very, very old Japanese word that also means to die, but it is not used in modern Japanese. Nobody uses it in conversation. Nobody uses it pretty much for anything. I think the last time it was used in popular culture was in the title of Gone with the Wind. They used the word inu. I don't remember what the full title was, but that's the last time I've ever heard of inu actually being used. All right. Okay, so far? We've got a couple more verbs to go through. So, shinu becomes shini, shinimasu. Mu verbs, we change the mu, the u sound to i, so it becomes mi. So, nomu, to drink, becomes nomi. That's our stem. We add mas, nomimasu. Let's get those furigana up. Our gu verb is isogu, which is to hurry, isogu. That's, by the way, these are the dictionary forms on the left. To get the verb stem, the mas verb stem, we change gu to gi. Isogu becomes isogi. We add mas. Isogimasu, and that is our polite present tense. Bu becomes bi, so asobu, which is to play, becomes asobi masu. Asobimasu. That's the play, polite present tense. Noru, which means to get on, like to get on a train or to get on a bicycle. Do becomes, in most cases, di, which is the verb stem, nori. We add mas, norimasu, and that is the polite present tense, norimasu. So that's it. All you need to do, exactly, yes, Seabolt Sparks, kohi wo nomimasu. That is correct. Yep, perfect, exactly. So you just take nomu, change that u sound to an e sound. This is a good time this is like one of the only good times to use romaji. I'll cover that a little bit later, because you just change that last u sound to an e. You got the stem, add mas, you're good to go. That's it. So let's cover the hard part. Sort of hard part. This is what mixes people up all the time, where lots of people are going to make lots of mistakes if they don't know about these rules, and that is ichidan verbs, or as the book likes to call them, do verbs, which is silly because as we just saw back here, there's some do verbs that are just normal, like all the other verbs. So ichidan verbs are verbs that end with iru or edu, with, as far as I know, 10 exceptions, but I think there may be some other exceptions out there as well. So, the verb that I'm first going to use for our example is taberu. Now, do verbs are the one time that I think it's worth writing out verbs in romaji, in Roman characters, because it's a little bit easier to understand iru and edu verbs, right? You can see here that taberu has 3 characters, ta, be, and do. So how is this an edu verb exactly? Well, if you write it out in English characters, we can see ta, be, do. Now that last e sound is where the edu part of the verb comes from, right? So that makes it an edu verb. So in this case, we know that it's going to be treated a little bit differently than normal do verbs, which if it was a normal do verb, you'd think it would be conjugated as taberimasu, but that is incorrect. It is not taberimasu because it is an iru or an edu verb. So let's see what happens. I've got good news. Some really good news, actually. It's really, really easy to make an ichidan verb into the polite present tense. All you have to do is cut the do and add mas. So for example, for miru, which is to look, we just cut the do, get rid of it, and add mas, and it becomes mimasu. For neru, which is to sleep, you can hear it, neru, N-E-R-U, neru. So that's an edu verb. We just cut the do, add mas, nemasu. Okiru, which is to wake up or to get up, like in the morning or whatever. Ki, it ends with an e sound, right? So that makes it an iru verb. So all we have to do is cut the do and add mas. And we get okimasu, which is to wake up in the polite present tense. And that's it. That's literally it. Now, there are 10 exceptions to the iru edu verb. Now, before I go over those, I just want to mention that with these rules in mind, what that means is that when you're conjugating verbs into their polite present or polite negative, you will know without fail that you're going to be changing that last character to its e counterpart. So if it ends in u, you're changing it to e. If it ends in mu, you're changing it to mi and adding mas. The only time you're not going to be sure is if it ends in do. So you need to be careful with do verbs. If you look at a do verb, you need to check the character before do, just to see if it has an e or an e at the end of it. If it does, you know it's an iru edu verb, unless it's one of these 10. So these are the 10 exceptions that I know about. In my previous lesson 3 live stream, I said that there were 8, but then someone in the Discord, who was it again? I can't remember. Sai, the person's name was Sai in the Discord, recognize two more. So I've added those to the lesson here. We've got hairu, which is to enter. That is true. These are all treated, by the way, as normal do verbs back in the first section, godan verbs. So hairu becomes hairimasu. Hashiru, you'd think it's an iru verb, right? But it's an exception, so it becomes hashirimasu. Iru, which is to need, becomes irimasu. I don't really use that one much. Usually you just say iru, but anyway. Kairu, which is to go home, becomes kairimasu. That's an exception. Kagiru is another exception. It means to limit. Kagirimasu, to limit. Kiru, which is to cut, becomes kirimasu. It's an exception. Shaberu, which is also to speak, kind of like hanasu, but depends on where you're at, and it's a little less formal, I'd say, becomes shaberimasu. Shiru, which is to know, becomes shirimasu. Keru and suberu, which were the ones that were not in my last lessons, those are to kick and to slide. They become kerimasu and suberimasu, respectively. So these are exceptions to the rule. All right, I'm going to jump into irregular verbs, and then I'm going to stop for any questions or comments, see what I'm missing. So there are two irregular verbs in Japanese with one verb, iku, that is sometimes an exception. Today it's not. But anyway, the two irregulars, they're always irregular, regardless of the conjugation, are kuru and suru. Kuru is to come, suru is to do. So kuru doesn't follow any of the rules. You just need to memorize these two. It's kimasu, to come, and suru becomes shimasu, to do. And you just have to memorize those two. Unfortunately, there's no special rule for them. You just memorize that kuru becomes kimasu, and suru becomes shimasu. And those are our two irregulars. So before I jump into the Japanese polite present tense negative, which is actually pretty much exactly the same, pretty straightforward, I'm going to stop and check out chat because I feel like I just covered a lot of information and I may need to go back a little bit. So, how is everyone feeling about this? Andy! Oh, noes, the battery. Thank you. We all good in the battery? Hey, that's a good enough reason to be here, in my opinion. I'm here for Andy being Andy. Thank you. I have a hard time just remembering the verbs themselves. Yeah, that's one you just get used to over time. Red light. All right. Anata no video o kikimasu. Perfect. Listen to my video. Thank you. Excellent. You need bananas. There's bananas for that, I think. Don't worry, the camera won't die. It just happens sometimes. Yeah, the camera will be fine. He is on a roll. Okay, you're in focus now. I thought we were all gonna die. Nope. All good. Kohi o nomimasu. Yep, that was a perfect sentence. Whiskey o nomimasu. Perfect. Hey, Seabolt, didn't I see you somewhere recently? LOL. Nero's polite present tense is example, I play, I die, etc. Yes, well, we're going to go over that in a few minutes. The next section in the lesson, Miros, is what the present tense actually is in Japanese. And it's not quite the same as in other languages. And we'll get to that, I promise. Can you use noru to take as well? Or is that just how we translate it? I see. Ie de eki o... That sentence is a little bit different. I take the train home. Ie made. That's a hard one to say, but you'd say to take a train, you could say densha ni norimasu. I mean, it's kind of like the same, to take, but I'd use it more as to get on. But yeah, densha ni norimasu. You use the directional particle ni when you're getting on something. So not o, but ni. If you get on top of, if you say densha o norimasu, I think it would sound like you're getting on top of the train. だよね, Yuki. 電車を乗るって上に乗っちゃってるって感じだね. Yeah, so if you get on the train, it's 電車を乗ります if you're getting on top of it. To get in the train, 電車に乗ります. Ni indicates direction and going into something. I just realized I said I'd take a train station, not a train yet. No worries. Okay, good. You've already covered that. All right. Yeah, Eki. Who thought my life would come to an American man teaching me Japanese? Certainly I didn't. That mistake should cement that in my head. LOL, it's early here, still waking up. Good morning. Kataru, says Simpy. Why do most resources not use the kanji for need in the verb to need? Iru, is it just not common to use in this way? Yeah, it's just not common to use that in the iru, in iru. I don't even know if I've ever seen it used along with that word. I know it can be, but yeah, I'm not sure why. I'm sorry. I know like 80% of hiragana and 0% of katakana, and same as kanji, I think I should do a little bit of more study. You'll get there, man. So for kuru, with the kanji, you can't see the change in sound, right? Kimasu, exactly. That's what's confusing about it, because it looks the same. Kuru becomes kimasu. Let's just go back to that slide. But the kanji doesn't change, so you can't see when you're reading it in just kanji that it's changed. If it's written in hiragana, or if I have the furigana like I do here, yeah, you can see that. But generally speaking, it can be a little confusing at first, and you will probably make mistakes in the beginning because it looks like it says kumas. But that is not the case. It's become kimas, so just keep that in mind. All right, if we're all good, I want to get on top of the train. I know. Have you ever watched Shie? Shie likes to climb on top of trains and fly around the world. Ride around the world, I guess. Anyway, so I'm going to jump into Japanese polite present tense negative, which is almost exactly the same as the positive. So I'm going to fly through this. All right, guys? So all you need to make the negative, which is to say the opposite of a verb. So basically, to say instead of go, the negative conjugation would be not go. Okay? So that's what the negative means. So for the negative, we take the mas verb stem, again, same verb stem, and just add masen. Densha ni norimasu. Correct, Seabolt speaks. Yeah, 007 ni yoku densha wa yoku densha o norimasu. Yes, he does. He does often get on top of trains. Okay, so let's go over godan verbs first. Ready? I'm going to fly through these because we've already done the stems. Utao becomes utaimasen. Kiku becomes kikimasen. Hanasu becomes hanashimasen. Matsu becomes machimasen. Shinu becomes shinimasen, not die. Please don't die. Nomu becomes nomimasen. Isogu becomes isogimasen. Asobu becomes asobimasen. Noru becomes norimasen. So using the last example sentence, which I'll have lots of very soon, I promise, you could say, densha ni norimasen, not get on the train. For ichidan verbs, we have the same issue. We just kataru and add masen. It's exactly the same for the negative as it was for the positive. So for miru, we get kataru, mimasen. Neru, kataru, nemasen. Not sleep. That's what happened to me yesterday. Okiru, kataru, okimasen. Okay? And that's just for iru and eru verbs. Same deal as before. Kirk Japanese, welcome to the stream. Miru, neru, okiru. Okay? So the same exceptions exist for negative verbs. There are 10 exceptions. You unfortunately just need to memorize them. Most of them are pretty common, so you'll use them so much and make mistakes with them so much that you will get them down pretty quickly. So, for example, hairu becomes hairimasen. Hashiru becomes hashirimasen. Iru becomes irimasen. I don't need it. Kairu becomes kairimasen. Not go home. Kagiru becomes kagirimasen. There's not a limit. Kiru becomes kirimasen. Not cut. Shaberu. Shaberimasen. Not speak. Shiru. Shirimasen. I do not know. Keru. Kerimasen. Not kick. Suberu. Suberimasen. I'm not going to go down the slide. Suberidai ni suberimasen. The same irregular verbs exist for the masen form. Kuru becomes kimasen. So it's the same deal. Ku becomes ki. Kuru becomes kimasen, not come. Suru becomes shimasen, not do. Okay? And that's it. That is how you conjugate verbs into their present polite tense and into their negative. And now we're going to go over some examples of these and how you can use them. But first I'm going to go ahead and check questions because I just blew through that, so anyone just showing up might not know what's going on. I just watched your Sumiko video, says Kyushu Trails. Nice. Good to see you digitally. Don't forget to like and subscribe because you're nuts if you don't, says Carpe Diem. Thank you. All right, konbanwa, says Yuki. Boku-chan wa ugokimasen. Hatarakimasen. Oh, that's hard to read in the little screen. Boku-chan wa hatarakimasen. Hatarakimasen. I do not work. I'm sorry. I hope you can soon. Hope we can all work soon. I can't either. I watch a girl play Mario Maker and she's goes into a pipe, I've heard hairu and haireru. Are these interchangeable? Haireru means can enter. Hairu means to enter. So that's way down the road, but it's basically the it's what's the word for can do something? I've forgotten the linguistic term, but basically haireru is can enter. There's a term for that. I can't remember. If someone can throw down what the linguistic term is for being able to do something or not being able to do something, I would really appreciate it. For some reason, my mind has gone blank. It's full of Japanese verbs. All right, so let's go ahead over how to use the Japanese present tense, because knowing how to make the Japanese present tense is great, but that doesn't mean you've learned how to use it. So that's what we're going to go over now. Now, we've just gone over how to make the present tense, and that is using the mas verb stem, adding mas for positive, and the mas verb stem plus masen for the negative. So, in reality, the Japanese present tense should be put in quotation marks, because what it actually is it's used to refer to habitual actions or future actions, whether those are just about to happen or off in the future. They're not used for ongoing actions, which I guess, well, the continuous is used for that in English as well, so I guess that's not so unique. But just keep in mind that the present tense actually means habitual actions and future actions. So let's go over some examples for that. In Japanese, unlike in many other languages, you can just say a verb and it can be a complete sentence. So for example, utaimasu. This means I will sing. Now, I have I in gray because the I here is implied. The full sentence would be watashi wa utaimasu or something like that. I will sing. But you don't need it. All you actually need to have a complete sentence in Japanese is utaimasu, one verb. I will sing. If someone questioned you and asked you, do you sing sometimes? You could also respond with utaimasu, which would mean I sing from time to time. Yeah, I can sing. Nomimasen means I will not drink or I do not drink, depending on the context alone. So if someone asks, hey, do you drink alcohol? Nomimasen. That means that habitually, I do not drink alcohol. Now, if someone gives you a drink and says, do you want to drink this? Nomimasen. I will not drink it. So it's future tense in reality, right? So, kairimasu alone is I will go home now. I will go home. Kairimasu. Coffee jelly. Thank you. Subjunctive. I don't remember if that's it or not. All right, so let's go over some full sentences because that's what we're all here for. That's what I'm here for, full sentences. We'll start with kono uta wo utaimasu. I will sing this song. You remember kono from lesson 2. If you haven't watched lesson 2 yet, you might want to go check that one out. It's probably up here or something. And that will teach you how to use kono, which is specific this. Kono uta wo utaimasu. I will sing this song. So if you're at karaoke anytime, if you come to Japan and you don't go to karaoke, I will be shocked. Everyone goes to karaoke when they first get to Japan. It's like an initiation ritual. So if you're looking at the thing where you choose your songs, little like iPad-like thing, kono uta wo utaimasu. I will sing this song. Ocha wo nomimasen. I will not drink tea, or I do not drink tea. Once again, this is going to depend on the context, because if someone is offering you tea right now, you can just say, ocha wo nomimasen. I'm not going to drink tea. But it could also mean that you don't drink tea habitually. So in Japanese, context is very important. Uchi ni kairimasu. I will go home. Literally, it means I will go home to my house. Uchi is my house or my home. And the verb kairu is to go home. So I will go home to my house, which is why we don't see anything green in the original sentence. All right. Next, we're going to jump into the conversation. Lynn, I saw your question on how we would say ongoing actions, and I will get to that. That actually shows up in lesson 6, I think, with the te-iru form, but I will answer your question shortly. So our conversation, the very first one in today's lesson, is quite long. So I'm going to go through it slowly first. I'll be both characters, and then I will go through it at a normal pace, and then we'll go over it line by line in the following slides. All right, are you ready? Let's go. Nani o tabemasu ka? ハンバーグセットを 食べます。じゃあ、僕はオムライスを食べます。コーヒーも飲みませんか？コーヒーは飲みません。はい、わかりました。Alright, let's go through that at full speed. Potential, that's the one, Dan. Thank you. 何を食べますか？ハンバーグセットを食べます。じゃあ、僕はオムライスを食べます。コーヒーも飲みませんか？コーヒーは飲みません。はい、わかりました。Alright, so let's go through that line by line. Our first sentence was 何を食べますか? That means what will you eat? Nani means what. 食べますか? We're using ka here, which we learned in lesson 1. It's the question marker. And we can use that, we learned to use it with this. Desu ka, right? Something, something desu ka. But you can also use it at the end of polite verbs. In fact, you must use it at the end of polite verbs to make a polite question sentence. So that would be 何を食べますか? What will you eat? Our next sentence was ハンバーグセットを食べます。In Japanese, it's sort of like, it's basically the same sound as in English, but it's like a thinking sound, like right? It's not It's with your mouth closed generally. ハンバーグセットを食べます。Now, hamburger set in Japan, I don't know if you guys know this, is not a hamburger like we think of it on a roll. It's generally just the burger with like some kind of glazed sauce on it or something. It's not hamburger like we think of it. If you want a hamburger, you need to ask for a hamburger, which is covered in the vocabulary in Genki. But hamburg set is actually more common in Japan, especially in like family restaurants. It's harder to find actual hamburgers. So I'll eat the hamburger set. Hamburger set o tabemasu. All right. Our next set of sentences were じゃあ僕はオムライスを食べます。じゃあ means, well, okay then, something like that, right? We learned that, I believe, in lesson 1. 僕はオムライスを食べます。Omurice I translated as omurice because we don't really have an equivalent dish in like America, but it's basically an omelet plopped on top of ketchup rice. So rice that's mixed up with ketchup, and that's called omurice. There's also maybe some frozen vegetables in that rice or something. But anyway, I translated it as omrice because otherwise I'd have to give a full explanation, which I did anyway. Anyway, the next sentence was コーヒーも飲みませんか? All right, now this one is a bit of a doozy. Now, we see we have 飲みませんか? And you'll notice in the English translation, this is, won't you drink coffee too? Now, we're going to be covering 飲みませんか, which is basically negative plus ka, which is a polite invitation, a little bit later in the lesson, so stick around for that if you want to learn more about it. So this question is コーヒーも飲みませんか instead of コーヒーは or コーヒーを. Now, that's because I've already said, as A, that I'm going to have rice. So the person B is asking if I will also have coffee. So this mo is also. We covered that in the last lesson, I think, but just so you know, that's what's going on here. Even though I'm not drinking anything, I've already decided that I'm having rice. So the person's asking me if I will also have coffee. Won't you have coffee too? コーヒーは飲みません. I'm not drinking coffee. Or I don't drink coffee. It could be translated either way. Depends on the context. In this situation, I'd probably say, no, I'm not going to drink coffee right now. But some people might say it as, I don't drink coffee at all. はい、わかりました. So, わかりました is an important phrase. It has not been taught in the Genki book yet, but you might as well learn it right now. わかりました is the past tense conjugation of the verb わかる, which means to understand. わかりました means you have understood what has been said to you. So it can be translated as got it. Gotcha. I understand. Understood. Something like that. And it's a very important phrase, or verb, really. So you should learn わかりました or わかった is the impolite, informal version of it. わかりました. I understand. And that's the end of that part. And we're going to be moving on to particles. So let me jump over to chat and see if everyone is following along. I'm going to work up to the top. I just realized I did not see any other comments but mine for a while. So I switched screen. Thank you for your answer, Come to Japan-chan. Okay. Oh, I see. Yep, it's Ono here. Oh no. Wow, it looks like I missed a lot. Oh my god. Okay, this is going to take a while. Awesome, thanks. Yeah, not trying to get ahead. You saying haidu reminded me. Oh, no worries. Potential form. That's the one I was looking for. Thank you. Also means to put in. Ireru. So the kanji means to put in, right? But that's actually a different verb. Ireru. It would be read differently depending on the so depending on what you're doing. Ireru means to put in. Haireru, it's different reading, means to that you can go in. Okay. I'm not watching. I'm watching Seki K, but I'm here. Yeah, exactly. Somebody already answered that. Correct, Patrick. Subjective, maybe. Andy, I'll buy you coffee jelly. Yes, please. So how would you say ongoing action like I'm drinking? Okay, that would be the teiru form, which we're going to cover in lesson 6. And it's the present continuous, teiru. So basically, if you wanted to say that I am eating right now, I'll just give you a one-off here. It's tabeteiru, tabeteiru. I'm eating right now. It's ing form, basically. In Japanese, nondeimasu. Oh, that's the polite form for Dan. Nice. Kevin, thanks for stopping by. How you doing? 32 viewers. You have an entire classroom. Love it. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much. 19 likes. You're all the best. I'm going to go. It's kind of like hamburger steak. Yeah, kind of like hamburger steak. Kind of. It is kind of like that. You're right. Nice. All right. Got down to Simpy. I thought that first sentence was, are you eating, before you said it was, will you eat? Where did I mess up? Are you eating? So where you didn't mess up, but what that means is, do you mean, are you eating right now? Are you in the process of eating? Then that would need the present continuous, which if we go back to that original sentence up top, would be, nani o tabete imasu ka? Nani o tabete imasu ka? Teiru, right? So that would be, what are you eating right now? Now, if you want to use it with the English, like, hey, are you eating? Like, to mean, are you gonna eat? Because if you think about it, the English phrase, hey, are you eating? Can be translated to mean, are you going to eat? Like, it's actually improper grammar. But if that's what you mean, then you're right. It is what it means. But if you mean, are you in the process of eating, you need the teiru form, which is the present continuous. Wakarimasen is a very important sentence. Yes, that is also a very important usage of wakarimashita. Wakarimasen, yes. Ono means yummy in Hawaiian, and lokomoko is a popular food in Hawaii that Japan gets wrong. I didn't know that. I've never had a lokomoko in Hawaii, so. I think I've only had it about once here, too. All right. So anyway, guys, let's go ahead and move on. We're 40 minutes in, and we're only on to section 3, but I think we can sort of fly through these now. So hopefully we can do that. We're about to jump into what I think is a far more confusing section of the lesson. But unfortunately, people get hung up on the first part, so they maybe never get to this part. So this is going to be particles o, de, ni, and e. I'm going to go ahead and read Carl Meyer Floor's question right now before I jump into this. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I noticed the reply was drink wa nomimasen. Is it wrong to say drink wo nomimasen? Sorry, just joined. Not sure if this has been discussed before. Okay, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, actually. So, it's okay. In fact, the proper grammar, technically, is drink wo nomimasu, or drink wo nomimasen. But, if you say drink wa nomimasen, what that implies is that I'm not drinking coffee specifically. Like, ne? It's like, that I'm not drinking. Maybe I'll drink something else. Kohi wa nomimasen. It implies that maybe I'll drink something else, but I'm definitely not drinking coffee. We haven't gone over that usage of wa yet, so I probably shouldn't have used it there. But I think it's a usage of wa that we cover at the end of this lesson, actually. So it puts more emphasis on the coffee, on the drink. I believe wa is used as a subject and wo is for direct object. Wa is used as the topic marker, but basically it can be the subject, and wo is for direct object. So you're not wrong. Kohi o nomimasen is correct. It means I will not drink coffee. But kohi wa nomimasen is the person just asked me if I'm going to drink coffee, and I'm like, no, I'm not drinking coffee. In response, I'm not specifically drinking coffee. It's a little bit more forceful. It's hard to explain. It's more of a feeling sort of thing. But yes, you're not wrong. You can say wo. You can also say wa. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into particles. Wo, de, ni, and e. The first one we're going to cover is wo, which, as Carl Meyer-Flor just mentioned, marks direct objects. So, gonna do some formula stuff here. Basically, direct object, dab. Wo, verb. So we take a direct object, dab, we add wo, and a verb. Let's see how that works. For example, just like we were just talking about, kohi wo nomimasu. I will drink coffee. Kohi wo nomimasu, or I do drink coffee. Terebi wo mimasu. I will watch TV, or I do watch TV. Kyushu Trail says he hates particles. Many people do. Terebi wo mimasu. So I will watch televi, or I will watch television, or I do watch television. And that's it. It just marks the direct object. That's all. We'll have practice sentences later in the chapter. De marks where an activity takes place. Not all the time, but the first thing we learn in Genki, sorry about my fan, is that de marks where an activity takes place. So let's see what that looks like. Basically, we take a location, we add de, and then the verb. For example, we're going to use the same sentences as before. Ie de kohi wo nomimasu. So I will drink coffee at home, or I do drink coffee at home. Ie de kohi wo nomimasu. So this de is marking the location at which drinking of coffee takes place. It can be translated sort of as an at. The next sentence, we could add ba de terebi wo mimasu. So I will watch TV at a bar, or I do watch TV at the bar. Anyway, we've got the location. De basically can be translated as at. It marks where we're doing it. Terebi wo mimasu. We do watching of television. Awesome. The next particle is ni. Now, ni is a fun one. It can be used in so many ways, but the two ways we're going to be covering today are marks the time an activity takes place. It can mark the time something happens, or it can mark a movement towards a goal, movement towards something, physical movement. Not always physical, but mostly physical movement. So, for time, we have a time, which is going to be in black and light blue today, and ni, and then a verb. Or if we're talking about moving towards a goal, we have a location, plus ni, plus a verb of movement, which you'll see what I'm talking about momentarily. So these sentences, we're using the same sentences as before, and they're just getting longer and longer. So our first sentences are going to be using time. 7時に家でコーヒーを飲みます. So we just took the original コーヒーを飲みます and used some particles to make it a more complicated sentence. I will, or do, drink coffee at home at 7 o'clock. 7時に家でコーヒーを飲みます. My battery's going nuts again. All right. So our next sentence is 日曜日にバーでテレビを見ます. Right? This time we've added Sunday. 日曜日にバーでテレビを見ます. This means I will or do watch television at a bar on Sunday. So in this case, ni is marking the time that something takes place. 家でビデオを見ます, says Lynn. Yep, perfect sentence. Bananas for you. Nice. All right. Now using locations, movement towards something, we have アメリカに帰ります. I will go home to America. アメリカに帰ります. Now, 帰る, remember I said that ni, the directional, takes a verb of movement. And to go home, 帰る is a verb of movement. So that's one that can take ni. アメリカに帰ります. カフェに行きます. Cafe is a cafe. And 行く, 行きます is a verb of movement. It's literally the verb of movement. It means to go. So I will go to a cafe. I forgot to put a there. カフェに行きます. I will go to the cafe. Our next particle is e. Now, E also marks movement towards a goal, and it is identical to ni. It is used in exactly the same way as the movement version of ni. We had a conversation on Discord about this the other day over what the difference is in reality. And what it comes down to is sort of preference, personal preference. They can be used the same way. There's some situations where E is more commonly used, but for the most part, you just sort of get a feel for it and use the one you like the most. Younger people tend to use ni in place of E, whereas older people, obviously, are the opposite, tend to use E instead of ni when talking about going somewhere. But otherwise, they're exactly the same. There's no rule of when you should use one over the other. So, you use it the same way. Location plus E plus a movement verb. So we're going to use the same sentences. アメリカへ帰ります。カフェにカフェへ行きます。It's so hard for me to say that because I would always say カフェに行きます。But you could say カフェへ行きます。But it's harder to say in my opinion. It's much easier to say カフェに行きます。And both are fine. So I'm always going to go with the easier one. カフェに行きます。But カフェへ行きます is also fine. So now I'm going to jump into sentences as soon as I fix my stupid camera. My next purchase is definitely going to be a battery pack that actually is meant for my camera. But by battery pack, I mean, oh, it's not fixed. By battery pack, I mean, like the thing I plug in to keep my camera going no matter what. Anyway, okay, let's go ahead and jump into the conversation. First, I'll read it slowly, and then I'll go through it at full speed. All right. So, first. 来週アメリカに帰ります。私も10月にアメリカへ行きます。アメリカで何をしますか？ピザをたくさん食べます。Alright, let's go through that at full speed. 来週アメリカに帰ります。私も10月にアメリカへ行きます。アメリカで何をしますか？ピザをたくさん食べます。Alright, so let's go over that line by line. 来週アメリカに帰ります。So this one means next week I will go home to America. Now, one thing that is covered in the book is time, references to time, and we're going over that next. That's the next section. You'll notice I didn't use ni along with daishu, and that's because daishu is one of the types of words that you do not use ni with. In fact, you cannot use ni with it. So that's going to be in the next section. I'll explain that a little more there, so stick around for that. So, 来週アメリカに帰ります means next week I will go home to, America. 私も10月にアメリカへ帰ります. Now notice, I have ni and e here. Now this ni is in reference to time, which is 10月 or October. This e is in reference to going to America. アメリカへ行きます. Right? Now, I did this on purpose, but you could just as well say, 私も10月にアメリカに行きます. That would be perfectly fine. Keep that in mind. Oh, watashi, will also go to America in October. The also is mo in October. This is like a, really? Really? I'm going to do that too type of thing. Or, oh, I'll also go to America. Sort of a pleasant surprise. I'm also doing that. Kyushu Trail says, what do I got to do to get a banana around here? Nice. アメリカで何をしますか? This is just a simple question sentence. アメリカで what are you going to do in America? So this de could be translated usually as at or in. It means what, nani, what are you going to do? And we covered de is it marks a location where something is done. In this case, we're asking what will be done in America. What will you do in America? アメリカで何をしますか? ピザをたくさん食べます. たくさん means lots of, and that's a verb of frequency, which I believe we cover in part 6 of this lesson. So stick around for that. ピザをたくさん食べます. All right. Next section is referencing time in Japanese. So let's go ahead and see what we missed in the chat. I had American pizza last night, Dan. Seabald Spy speaks. You should have sent me some. I miss American pizza. Well, I miss Tri-State Area pizza. But I imagine it's not bad in Virginia either. Ina. All right, what else did I miss? Hi, Yuki has something. What's up? Hi. 質問。はい。Votoがね。Alright, so I'm scrolling back up to... We've got quite a ways. Hold on. My sensei told me we pronounce it o instead of wo, the particle I mean. Okay, so yes. Generally in conversation you would say kohi o nomimasu, kohi wo o nomimasu. But if you want to emphasize it when you're if you want to emphasize that you're using the o particle, and teachers will often do this, you'll say kohi wo nomimasu, like specifically coffee. That's what I'm talking about. Kohi wo nomimasu. But generally speaking in conversation, it would come out as o. Okay? Naoek, either is fine, neither is wrong. Oh, yeah, basically. Kirk is kind of like a personal preference. Exactly. Both are fine. Naoek. Ie de video o mimasu. Perfect sentence. Lin. Oh, you got a banana for that. Nice. I sometimes get hung up on whether to use wo or ga. Any help with that? Woo, that's a fun one. Yuki has a good answer for this one. Okay. So wo always marks the direct object. Ga is I guess it marks the subject? Wait, yeah, it marks the subject. So one marks a direct object, one marks the subject of the sentence. So if you are doing a verb to an item, or you are using an item to do an action verb, it's generally going to be o, because it's a direct object. Coffee, drinking it. Kohi wo nomimasu, right? Now, if you were to say kohi ga nomimasu, you could say that, couldn't you? Not really? Nah, you couldn't really say that. You could say kohi ga nomitai, specifically coffee, but we haven't covered want to yet. So don't get too up on it yet, man. Diglets. It's hard, and you get used to it over time. I don't have any great answer for you right now. Yeah. But generally speaking, o marks a direct object and ga will mark a subject. I will go over that more in one of the coming lessons, but it would take probably 30 or 40 minutes just for me to explain it right now. So unfortunately, I can't go over that at the moment. Yama ni ikitai, says Kyushu Trail. Me too. Can shichiji be read as nanaji? Or in this case, can only be shichiji? It sounds like a very, very, very old person. Very old person. Like 70, 80, maybe 90. I've heard Yuki's grandfather says nanaji, and her grandmother will say nanaji. They also say things like ikuji for what time. Ikuji ni kaerimasu, they say, which to them means what time, but it's very archaic, very old Japanese. So you could, but you should say shichiji. It's modern. All right. Dan says, 一緒に山に行きたい. Me too. 僕も一緒に Kyushu Trail says, 無理. Muda. It's a waste. 無理. Okay. This mouse is going to be the end of me. Let's see if I missed anything else. I heard that ni is used more to emphasize the destination, whereas e emphasizes the direction. That kind of makes sense. But I don't think it's too detailed. Like maybe. But you can use them interchangeably. So ni would be, e would be towards. Yeah, I could see that. Kamara wa baka desu. Agreed. 一緒に勉強しましょう. Nice. All right, what do I got to get a banana around here? O marks the thing you were verbing. Exactly. And we have a good pizzeria called Oakfire Pizza. Nice. Oh, got it. That's still a super helpful explanation. Thanks. You're welcome. Montana Margo. New Jersey has best pizza in the world. I agree. Mama's Pizza sent me pizza at Christmas from New Jersey to Montana, and it was still great when it got there. I wish they would send it to Japan. I miss Mama's Pizza. Grammy, good to see you. That's my grandmother. Welcome in modern times. Modern. A.K.A. All right, good. So we're going to be moving on now to referencing time in Japanese. All right. Thanks for sticking around, guys. It's good to see 28 of you are still hanging out. So, to reference time in Japanese, for days of the week and for numerical time expressions like shichiji or nanaji, if you want to sound like a really, really older Japanese man, you need to use ni, the ni particle, after them. For example, we take the time plus ni plus a verb. So we'll use our examples from earlier. 7時にコーヒーを飲みます. We need to have that ni if we're using time. You can't say 7時コーヒーを飲みます. Doesn't sound right. This is one of those cases where you cannot drop the particle. You must keep it there. 7時にコーヒーを飲みます. For days of the week, we also use the ni particle. 日曜日にテレビを見ます. I will or do watch TV on Sunday. 日曜日にテレビを見ます. For words like today, tomorrow, etc., or for regular intervals like every day, or for when, we do not use ni. In fact, you cannot use ni. For today, 今日, tomorrow, 明日, regular intervals, every day, 毎日, or when, いつ, no ni. So we just... that's wrong. Don't look at that. So we have 毎日コーヒーを飲みます. We drink coffee. I will drink coffee every day, or I do drink coffee every day. 毎日コーヒーを飲みます. So notice we don't have a ni particle. Doesn't take a ni particle. The next one is 今日はテレビを見ます. We could also say 今日テレビを見ます. But often people say 今日はテレビを見ます. Today is, we'll cover that wa. That's the wa we actually cover at the end of the lesson. But it doesn't take ni. For times of day, like morning or evening, asa, gogo, stuff like that, or for the weekend, shumatsu, you can use ni, but you don't have to. It's optional. Ni will make it more forceful, more emphasized. So time si plus ni plus verb, but the ni is optional. So, asa ni kohi wo nomimasu. I will drink coffee in the morning. That ni is completely optional. You could also say, asa kohi wo nomimasu. But that ni emphasizes more when you're doing it than the actual activity. Asa ni kohi o nomimasu. I drink coffee in the morning. If you just said asa kohi o nomimasu, I drink coffee in the morning, like it's more emphasizing the what you do. The next sentence is 週末テレビを見ます. I will watch TV over the weekend. You could also say 週末にテレビを見ます. That would be fine as well. But it's emphasizing when you're going to do something. So let's go over our conversational piece for this. This is a lot of material for one day, guys. I'm really sorry. I hope it's sticking. So, I'm going to read it slowly first. 朝何をしますか? 朝にご飯を食べます. 毎日何時に食べますか? 8時に食べます. いつ仕事に行きますか? 仕事に行きません. All right, let's read that a little bit faster. 朝何をしますか? 朝にご飯を食べます。毎日何時に食べますか? 8時に食べます。いつ仕事に行きますか? 仕事に行きません. All right, let's go over that one by one. I see bananas are flying. Okay, so the first sentence was 朝何をしますか? What do you do in the morning? Notice we don't have a ni particle. You could if you wanted to. 朝にご飯を食べます. In the morning specifically, I eat breakfast. 毎日何時に食べますか? What do you eat every day? So that ni can be translated as at. So it's kind of a weird English sentence. What time do you eat at every day? I guess that's not that weird. 毎日何時に食べますか? I should have, there we go. What time do you eat at every day? Notice there's no ni particle. For terms like 毎日, every day, we do not use ni. 何時, what time, we do use ni for. 何時に食べますか? In place of that nani, that nan would be a number. So 何時に食べますか? We do need ni then. 8時に食べます. So for a specific time, we need the ni particle. 8時に食べます. All right, our next sentence is いつ仕事に行きますか? When do you go to work? 仕事 is work. 行きますか is, of course, the verb to go. So, いつ, we do not use the ni particle with いつ. いつ仕事に行きますか? When do you go to work? Oh, I don't have the kanji there. 仕事に行きません. I don't go to work. For those of you who are wondering, be in this sentence is Ando-san in the Patreon listening and shadowing practice. He's the one that does number B. He does not go to work. Ando-san. Just so you're aware. All right, and that brings us to polite invitations in Japanese. This is going to be one of the more useful sections in the lesson. So let's go ahead and see what's happening over in chat. I have been talking so much. All right. Welcome in Runway Incursion. I didn't notice that was you. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for being here. Konbanwa, grandma, says Yuki. Nice. And yes, my grandparents are old, Sophia, said Yuki. Very old. They're mid-80s. 毎日日本語勉強します. Perfect sentence, Seabolt. I hope you got a banana for that. Looks like you did. 必ず毎日コーヒーを飲みます. Me too. I can't survive without coffee. I'm completely addicted and I'm okay with it. 必ず毎日コーヒーを飲みます. All right. Guys, what tea should I have? Mint green coffee. Yes. Ooh, that sounds weird. I don't know. 仕事に行きません. Because of Corona, says Kyushu Trail. Chamomile. What happened to my period question? It's floating. I don't know. All right, 仕事に行きます. Yuki has to go to work tomorrow. Sad. Oh. Lin, またね. I got to go. I will catch up on the rest on the replay, sensei. すみません. Minasan, またね, says Lin. See ya, Lin. I think I probably missed you, but if you're watching on the replay, see ya. Welcome back. わかりました, Lin, says Yuki-chan. Anyway, thank you for being here up until this point. It's a very long lesson today, probably too much material. I should have split it up into 2 lessons again, which is what I did originally, but I decided to try and pack it all into one to see if we could do it. We're doing okay, though. Carl Meyer Floor says, if the ni particle is not needed, should the word used like ima be at the beginning of the sentence? コーヒーを毎日食べます. It doesn't have to be. It sounds a little better, like to say 今何々します. 何々を今します. You could put it at other places. We'll go over word order actually in the next section, right after polite invitations. You can kind of mix them up. It does sound best if it's at the beginning of the sentence, though. Doing Japanese 101 at university, my teacher also told us to rip out the new verbs from section 3. Nice, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Maybe your teacher watched my channel. Yeah, rip them out, man. I did this stream one other time already on my channel, and since I've updated the format, I'm redoing it, and because the new book came out. But it hasn't been that well updated in the new edition. I thought it was, and then I read over it again, and it's still kind of too confusing. So, Tristan, if you just showed up, I've already finished covering verbs, so I'm sorry about that, but if you want to go back and check that out to get some, if you need some help with that still, the beginning of this lesson is where you're looking for. All right, so polite invitations in Japanese. This is where we're going to start using masen, which is the negative conjugation of any verb. The polite. What's up? 1 second, sorry. Okay. So, polite invitations use something called masenka, which is, to build that, we take the mas verb stem, we add masen, so it's basically the negative polite conjugation, and we add ka, the question particle. And that means, won't you do something? A verb, basically. Won't you? So it's a polite invitation. Some very simple examples are, utaimasen ka? Won't you sing? Nomimasen ka? Won't you drink? Kairimasen ka? Won't you go home? I imagine this was the order of what happened that night. Won't you sing? Person probably said no. Won't you drink? They drank. And won't you go home? You should probably go home now, buddy. All right. So some longer sentences using our sentences from earlier, but turning them into invitations. We get, この歌を歌いませんか? Won't you sing this song? We covered kono in lesson 2. If you don't know how that works, I'll put a link down in the description probably, and you can go check that out. お茶を飲みませんか? Won't you drink tea? 家に帰りませんか? Won't you go home? Literally, it translates to, won't you go home to your house? Ie is your house. But kairu means to go home. So it's a little bit repetitive. You could just say, kairimasen ka? Won't you go home? And that's perfectly fine. Adding ie at the beginning of the sentence it's a little bit repetitive when using the verb kairimasu. So let's jump into our conversation piece for this section. So I'm going to read it slow first and then speed up for the second time around. 明日一緒に勉強しませんか? いいですよ。ありがとうございます。その後映画を見ませんか? いいですね。Alright, let's go a little bit faster. 明日一緒に勉強しませんか? いいですよ。ありがとうございます。その後映画を見ませんか? いいですね。Alright, let's go over that line by line. So, 明日一緒に勉強しませんか? Won't you study with me tomorrow? Now, 一緒に is something that does not show up yet in Genki, but it's a very important word that you're going to hear all the time. So I've gone ahead and taken the liberty of throwing it in here. It basically means with me, together. So, won't you study with me tomorrow? 明日勉強しませんか? If you just said that, it is an invitation, so you don't need 一緒に. It would still sort of imply, probably contextually, that you wanted them to study with you, but it could also mean, won't you study tomorrow? Aren't you going to study tomorrow? But adding 一緒に really puts the emphasis on you want them to study with you. Have a great day all, says Simpy. Have a great day, man. Kids and mom just woke up, so it's time to start celebrating Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day! Call your Okasan if there's any mothers in chat. Happy Mother's Day. All right. Have a good day, Simpy. Patreon 見てみませんか? Says Dan. Nice. Please do. All right. So the next sentence is いいですよ. This is basically a set phrase, which means sure. ありがとうございます. Thank you very much. Pretty straightforward. その後映画を見ませんか? After that, want to watch a movie? So, その後, I've highlighted sort of as a time word here. It's not in Genki yet, but it's pretty useful, I think. It means after that. So, その means that, a specific that. 後 means after. So, その後映画を見ませんか? After we finish studying, basically. いいですね. いいですね is basically a set phrase that means sounds good. Next, we're going to be jumping on to frequency adverbs in Japanese. Let's go ahead and see what's happening in the chat, though. I think we've lost a few people. It's getting pretty late, and it's Mother's Day. Thank you for reminding me about that. I hope everyone said Happy Mother's Day to your mothers and that they are all healthy and doing well. I gotta send a message to my mom. This is immediately after this one. Oh, yeah, but my grandmother is also here, so if she's still here, Happy Mother's Day, Grammy. All right, it doesn't look like we have any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into frequency adverbs in Japanese. I'm debating on whether... What am I at? Slide 80. We've still got quite a few left. Let's just keep going. All right, so frequency adverbs in Japanese. There's only a couple covered in... You should have a new Patreon also. Oh, really? Thank you. I don't have my phone anywhere near me. Can you grab my phone? I should actually have that near me so I know what's going on. Thank you. Thank you very much. Somebody wants to send me a message before I jump into... It's true! Jonathan Siebold is a new Patreon. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Unfortunately, you won't be on the credits roll at the end, but thank you so much. You will be on next time. So, frequency adverbs. We have 毎日, every day, よく, often, and 時々, sometimes. These are the ones covered in Genki in lesson 3. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. So, my favorite of these is tokidoki. I really love the sound of that. It was one of my favorite words when I first started speaking Japanese. So, this looks messy, right? But it's pretty simple. So this is how it works. We've got an adverb of frequency. That's why I have the F in here, making it look a little algebraic. An adverb of frequency, plus a direct object, plus wo, plus a verb. We could also have a direct object plus o, plus the adverb of frequency plus the verb. Or we could just have an adverb of frequency plus a verb. It doesn't matter. You can put it anywhere in the sentence. That's what I wanted to point out with this. It looks confusing, but what it means is the adverb of frequency, like tokidoki, can go anywhere. So let's go ahead and go over a couple sentences to illustrate that. 毎日コーヒーを飲みますか? Do you drink coffee every day? 毎日コーヒーを飲みますか? Some answers to that could be 時々時々コーヒーを飲みます. I drink coffee sometimes. So we could have 時々 at the beginning of the sentence. Or like this one. コーヒーをよく飲みます. I drink coffee often. You could put it later in the sentence. So you could also say よくコーヒーを飲みます. But you could also put it over here. コーヒーをよく飲みます. I feel like よく is more common before a verb than it is before the direct object. But maybe that's just how I like to say it. Thank you. All right, so these are negative verbs of frequency. They're a little bit different. We've got zenzen, which means never, and ammari, which means not often. Now, the difference with this one is that they must be used with negative verb conjugations. So we've got the same thing where they can go anywhere in the sentence. They can go before a direct object. They could go before the verb. They could just be alone with a verb. But they must be combined with negative conjugations. So in our case, we've only learned the polite negative, which is 毎日コーヒーを飲みますか? Some answers to that could be 全然飲みません. I never drink coffee. You can't say 全然飲みます. Because it's never, right? Now, Japanese people do say, they do use zenzen with positive verbs. They do it. But it's grammatically incorrect. Like, even Japanese people make this mistake. They say like something like 全然大丈夫, which means I'm perfectly fine. But it's actually grammatically incorrect to say 全然大丈夫, because 大丈夫 is a positive, right? But anyway, just know it needs to be combined with a negative verb. Using あんまり, we could say コーヒーをあんまり飲みません. Once again, this one also has to be with a negative conjugation. So 飲みません. あんまり飲みません. I don't drink coffee too often. That's a lie. I drink it all the time. You could also put あんまり at the beginning. あんまりコーヒーを飲みません. Either way is fine. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our conversation. お酒を飲みますか? Sorry. お酒は飲みますか? あんまり飲みません. A さんは時々飲みます。嘘ですね。まあ、よく飲みますね。毎日飲みますね。Just in case you're wondering, B in this little skit is Ando-san. No, wait, I'm sorry. A is Ando-san in the Patreon listening and shadowing videos. So, let's go through that a little bit faster. お酒は飲みますか? あんまり飲みません. A さんは時々飲みます。嘘ですね。まあ、よく飲みますね。毎日飲みますね。A is angry at this point in the conversation, I imagine. All right, so let's go over that one by one. お酒は飲みますか? Do you drink alcohol? Now, in America, sake is basically Japanese wine, right? We refer to Japanese wine in the United States or in Western countries as sake, but that's not completely accurate. Sake in America, what they call that in Japan is nihonshu, which is basically Japanese wine, right? Nihonshu. Osake can also refer to sake, nihonshu. But osake also refers to any type of alcohol, any type. So in this situation, when someone says osake wa nomimasu ka, they're saying, or they could say osake wo nomimasu ka, it would mean, do you drink alcohol in general? That's what it means. If someone wanted to ask you if you drink, like what we call sake in the United States, they would ask you, Nihonshu wo nomimasu ka? Or Nihonshu wa nomimasu ka? Do you drink sake? Right? So that's the difference there. It's a little bit confusing. It was confusing for me at first. Let's jump into the next sentence. あんまり飲みません. A さんはあんまり飲みません means I don't drink much. Do you? A さんは generally you use people's names if you know them when you're asking questions like this. Like, do you? You wouldn't say あなたは if you know their name. You would say their name. A-san wa. Just keep that in mind. Try not to use anata too often. 時々飲みます. I drink it sometimes, says A. Then C comes in and says, 嘘ですね. That's a lie, eh? I'm using e in the Canadian way. Ne. 嘘ですね. That's a lie. Uso is, it's a noun that means a lie. But when you say uso des, that means that the thing that someone said is a lie. まあ、よく飲みますね. Well, I guess I drink a lot. The I guess is sort of confirming that what the previous person said may be true. And that's what this ne is implying. It's implying that the thing that the person said before was true. You'll often see this when someone is confirming a phone number back to you. So if you say my number is 111111 this, then when someone reads it back to you, they'll confirm it by saying 111111 this ne. So that's sort of a confirmation that what you said is true. 毎日飲みますね. Yeah. You drink every day, is what this character is saying. You drink every day. And that ne is sort of a sarcastic, yeah, okay. Yeah, you drink every day. And that's the end. Next, we're going on to word order. So let's see what's going on over in the chat. Yuki was laughing at something a while ago. I celebrated yesterday with your mother and Rachel. It was great. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. I gotta talk to my mom. I'm here but watching Psyche K. I'm jealous. I love Psyche K. No problem. I don't mind supporting good people. You're the best. I really appreciate it. Come to Japan says, 絶対必ず間違いなく毎日コーヒーを飲む. Without fail. He basically said, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely every day I drink coffee. Me too. I can't live without it, man. あなたのペイチョンが素晴らしい. Thank you so much. It's so nice of you. I've worked very, 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 very hard on it. I hope everyone can get some use out of it. Haido's ringtone is show more enthusiasm, show more enthusiasm. ほとんど毎日お酒を飲みます. Really? I drink sake almost every day, says Dan. Almost every day. ほとんど毎日. I've seen where if you use anata versus their name, it can come off rude. It can be a little bit. If you know their name. Generally, you're going to use their name instead of anata if you know their name. The only way you're going to use anata is if you're being a little bit aggressive, like in an argument with someone, or if you actually don't know their name. And you're sort of like on the same footing as them, status-wise. Like you're not going to have a store clerk say anata to you unless you're being a jerk. They'll call you okyakusama, which means honored customer, something like that. Munchy Mellow, love the name. Hi, how you doing? Thanks for being here. Honored customer, okyakusama. I love Mayday-san skits on the Japanese like honorifics. So good. What's ohayo gozaimasu?
Early morning
With honor. Ohayo gozaimasu. It's early morning with honor. It's one of my favorite skits of his. I'm bad with names. Me too. I'm so terrible with names. I'm terrible with names to begin with, whether it's English or Japanese. But Japanese names are like, they don't stick. I need to listen better. No joke. All right. So, jumping in. What's up? Hi.
Nothing, I'm wrapping it.
I see. I didn't see that yet. My wife says to me, "Anata sa," when she's gonna tell me of "Anta sa, anta sa." That one happens. You're too much. I can't imagine your wife having to tell you off for much of anything, and unless it's like, I'm gonna go climb a mountain and leave you at the dentist's office again, something like that. "Anta sa, 毎回忘れちゃうんだけど." Something like that. You always forget me. Word order in Japanese. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the next section. Word order in Japanese. So, in English, this is a fun one. English is traditionally presented as SVO language. Subject, verb, object. The cat, the subject, will eat, the verb, future tense. The mouse, that's the object. The cat will eat the mouse. Japanese is traditionally presented as a subject, object, verb language. Neko wa nezumi wo tabemasu. Neko wa nezumi wo tabemasu. Right? So it's presented as a subject, object, verb language. But let me get a drink. That's not entirely accurate. Tom and Jerry, yes. It's not entirely accurate. These sentences are all perfectly acceptable in Japanese. First, we have subject, object, verb. Neko wa nezumi wo tabemasu. But this sentence is also a full sentence in Japanese. Nezumi wo tabemasu. That's just object, verb. But it's a full sentence. We could also mix those up with a comma, verb, object. This is also a perfectly fine sentence. Tabemasu nezumi o. Perfectly fine. We could also just say tabemasu, just the verb. And that's it. That's a complete sentence. In English, imagine if someone just said eat or will eat. She's cracking up over here. That's not a complete sentence. It doesn't work. What are you going to eat, mister? Who's going to eat? What are you talking about? But in Japanese, context is important. And just a verb, perfectly fine. It's grammatically correct. Tabemasu. So you can't really say ku. Kyushu Trail says ku. Kuimasu. Yes, so you can just say a verb on its own, and it's a perfectly good sentence, unlike in English. Eat. Can't say that. All right, so let's go over a conversation which illustrates this point. 今日は何をしますか? 寝る。え? それだけですか? 食べる。そして見る。あの映画を。Let's go a little bit faster. 今日は何をしますか? 寝る。え、それだけですか? 食べる。そして見る。あの映画を。In case you're wondering, B is Ando-san. Let's go over these line by line. 今日は何をしますか? This is a very polite, what will you do today? And the answer is just a dictionary form verb. 寝る. The English would be, if Yuki said to me, what will you do today? I will say, sleep. I guess as a response, that's not necessarily incorrect in English, but sleep. 寝る. え? Huh? それだけですか? Dake means only. Dake is a very useful word that means only. You can use it just like you use only in English. So, それ, that, only, ですか? それだけですか? 食べる. I'll eat. So just the verb, dictionary form alone, 食べる, implies that I will eat. And that's perfectly okay. Perfectly good grammar. そして? そして is an excellent conjunction junction. What's your function? It's an excellent conjunction. It means and then. You can also use it like to continue your sentence as a conjunction. And then I did something something. コーヒーを飲みました。そして朝ごはんを食べました。Right? So I drank coffee and then I ate breakfast. 見る。あの映画を。I'll watch it. That movie. That sounds weird in English, right? But it's perfectly fine in Japanese. You're throwing the verb out first. 見る. Watch. あの映画を. The actual literal translation of this sentence would be watch that movie. Which is, what's this guy doing? But basically that is perfectly okay. So that is the end of that section, and we're on to the final section, which is more about wa. And I am shouting. Let's go ahead and check what's happening in the chat. Skip to the next timestamp if you want to keep going, people watching on the replay. LOL, verb, comma, object is like anime. Basically, yes. Ando-san is like anime, so that's why he's that guy in every single one of the skits over on the Patreon. P0N says, the sentence order in Japanese is oddly familiar to me as it is very similar to my primary language, Malayalam. Malayalam. What country is Malayalam from? P0N. That's interesting to hear. Cool. Tatakai anata. Anato. Perfect. It's true, Kirk. It does sound like an anime. Nice. Sorry, I'm back. Had to deal with drama. No worries. Drama always happens. Ano. Eika Kyushu Trail. Ah, you crack me up. Wade wade. Some jerk bullying my friends online. Oh, I hope they stop. So, sono eiga. Yuki's face. Inunaki no eiga o. Ah, Inunaki Tunnel's movie. Nice. Mite naku. I don't want to cry. Is it still considered polite if you just say the verb? Yeah. Conjugation is what's going to determine whether it's polite or not, and the type of conjugation. Like, you can go much more there's more polite forms than the mas form, which is the first form we've learned today. Tabemas. I don't think so, Dan. Malayalam is a South Indian language. Oh, okay, cool. Never heard of it. So, it's interesting to hear that the grammar is similar. Is it? Yeah, I'm answering that question right now. Is it still considered polite if you just say the verb? So, if someone were to ask you, do you want to drink this, or will you drink this water? It's perfectly polite to just say nomimasu. It would be unnecessarily repetitive to say, sono mizu wo nomimasu. I will drink that water. We wouldn't even say it in English, to be honest. Like, if you think about it, it's not uncommon to respond to questions with single word verbs in English, actually. Like, I guess we wouldn't respond with a verb, though. We'd respond with a single word, but it would be like, yeah, right? So you can think a lot of, like, responses. Yes, this is live. How's it going, man? All the letters I can't read. I'm just going to call you MQ. MQVN Gold Digger. All right, so you can think of single verb responses to questions like, will you drink this? Kore o nomimasu ka? You can think of the single word response of nomimasu, sort of like the English, yeah, or yes, right? In reality, you're saying the verb, drink, I'll drink. But you can think of it like, yeah. Well, thank you for being here. I'm glad to see you, MQVN Gold Digger. That's how I'm going to read that. Love it. It's good to see you. So that's just what I see for some reason in that name. So yeah, it's still polite. Perfectly fine. Yes. Utaimasu. The conjugation is what's going to make it polite. And there are more polite conjugation, which is what I was trying to get at before. There's honorific Japanese, which is keigo, which gets even more polite. And what's going to determine that is not whether or not you have the full direct object subject verb. It's going to be the conjugation of the verb and of the nouns that will determine whether or not it's more polite. Oh, okay, nice. Earthly. I'll remember that. Earthly. Nice. You're welcome. I hope that answered your question. All right, so jumping on to the final section of Genki 1, Lesson 3, we're going to talk a little bit more about wa. Sometimes we say dude, and it means everything pending intonation. You drinking tonight? Dude. English is weird. That's true. English is weird. Dude. That would be yes. Are you drinking tonight? Dude. That would mean, absolutely not. And why are you even thinking of doing that, you irresponsible turd? That's what that dude would mean. You're right. That's a good one. I always forget about dude. I love dude. All right, so let's jump into it. I got sidetracked there. Konbanwa, Earthly. Good to see ya. So, more about wa. Wa is not the subject marker. It is not the subject marker. Ga is the subject marker, by the way, but wa is not it. Wa marks the main topic of a sentence. For example, 今日は忙しい. The topic is today. What we're talking about is today. Are you busy today? 今日は忙しい. 今日 isn't the subject. It's the topic of the sentence. What are you busy today? ご飯は? This is a very useful sentence. You'll hear it all the time. It means, how about some food? But it's really just food. Food? Food? Dude. Basically. So, the topic is food. And it implies a longer sentence. What it implies is, ご飯は食べますか? But the topic is food. So some more full sentences would be 今日はケーキを食べます。食べます。Oh, I don't have the coloring here. I'm very sorry. Today, pink, I will eat cake. 今日はケーキを食べます。So notice we have the direct object here, and the topic of the sentence is today. Today I'm going to do this. The main part of this is that I'm going to eat cake today. Dude. Right. 週末はテレビを見ます。So the topic here is what I'm going to be doing over the weekend. The weekend is the important part here. In English, we would use emphasis to sort of, like emphasis on the word. This weekend, I'm going to watch TV. This weekend, I'm going to do that. So like we would use emphasis to sort of present the topic of the sentence. But in Japanese, we use the wa particle. 週末 is the topic. 週末はテレビを見ます. We're talking about the weekend. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I don't know if the weekend means anything anymore considering the way the world is, but oh well. So let's go over some conversational pieces to sort of illustrate wa being used not as a subject marker, which it can be. Sometimes the topic of a sentence is the subject, right? Like in the case of 私はご飯を食べます. In that situation, 私 is the topic and the subject. I'm the subject of the sentence, what I'm going to do, but not always. And that's what we're covering right now. So we're going to go over the conversation now. ご飯はご飯は食べます。ラーメンはどうですか？今日はラーメンを食べません。あれ？食べません。寿司は？寿司は食べます。Let's read that at a full speed because that was a little awkward. ご飯は食べます。ラーメンはどうですか？今日はラーメンを食べません。寿司は？寿司は食べます。Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at these one by one. ご飯は? How about something to eat? So the question mark, that intonation rising, ご飯は? Is what indicates it is a question of whether you want to eat food. 食べます, just a verb alone. It's a response. Look at this. We don't have any subjects, objects, nothing. It's just literally a noun with a particle and a verb. And we just had a conversation in Japanese. It's wonderful. 食べます, I'll eat. ラーメンはどうですか? How about ramen, or how is ramen? I translated it as how is because we have this des, so it made it a little bit easier to explain. But a better English translation would be how about ramen? どうですか means how about something something, or how is something something. 最近はどうですか? How have you been, for example. Or ラーメンはどうですか? How is ramen? How about ramen? 今日はラーメンを食べません. So, 今日, today, is now the topic of the sentence. Today, I'm not going to eat ramen. It doesn't mean that I don't eat ramen. Like, I don't eat ramen. It means that today is the topic. Today specifically, I don't want to eat ramen. I'm not going to eat ramen. Not I don't want to. It means I'm not going to. 食べません. Finally, a surprised, huh? This guy must really like ramen. Sushi wa? The new topic is sushi. And this sentence implies sushi wa tabemasu ka? Sushi wa tabemasu. If we're talking about sushi, which would be the sort of literal translation of this wa. If it's sushi we're talking about, I'll eat it. So you can kind of translate the topic particle wa as if it's something we're talking about, or if we're talking about this, then yes. Sushi wa tabemasu. If we're talking about sushi, I will eat it. And now we're jumping into question time. But before we get to that, let me make sure I don't have any questions. Over here, I know things are getting ちょっと盛り上がったんですけど、いい意味で。What? Dude, exactly. LOL. What? Cake day. Or is it ware ware? It's yare yare. Is this weekend I'll watch TV also a correct translation? Yes, it is also a correct translation. Keikyobi. Love it. Yes, I'll be back. See ya, Munchy Mellow. Welcome back if you're already back. Would it change if you were trying to speak about eating cake as the main event, and then it being the weekend was just added context? Yes. 週末ケーキを食べます. I wouldn't put that wa particle then. I would just cut the wa particle. And yeah, I would say 週末ケーキを食べます. Or ケーキは食べますかな? If I want to really talk about 週末ケーキを食べます. So I take out the wa. The wa puts the emphasis on the topic being the weekend. If I take out the wa, it puts the emphasis back on the direct object in the verb.
週末 every weekend にいつも
今週末って言うんだよね。
違う。
Yeah, but what you're saying is, yeah.
Every weekend, someone eats cake. Every week.
Mm-hmm.
週末はケーキを食べます。
But that's not what she's saying, I don't think. So yeah, if you're talking about how you eat cake every weekend, you could say 週末はケーキを食べます. But if you want to talk the main event is eating cake this weekend, then you'd actually need to say 今週末. So that means this weekend. 今週末. It's using the kanji for 今, for now. 今週末 this weekend. I mean, you don't need wa. 今週末ケーキを食べます. So this weekend, we'll eat cake. ケーキを食べます. So you just take out the wa, and that puts the emphasis back on it. Earthly, yes, you are correct.
ねえねえ、マンチューがさ、
うん
わって聞いてたじゃん。それはどういう意味だったのか。
知らんよ。でもどっか行っちゃったからしょうがない. God Munchie, you needed wombat. I'm back. Welcome back. Can't hear you, Dan. I'm sleeping, said Kishu Trails. All right, question time. So I've got some questions for everyone that is still in chat. Thank you guys for sticking it out. This was a long lesson, hour and 40 minutes. Although last week was actually longer. I'm surprised. We covered a lot of topics today. So anyway, the question today is, 今日は何を食べますか? What will you eat today? An example of this, an answer to that sentence would be 卵を食べます. I'll eat eggs. I did eat eggs today. I ate boiled eggs. 卵を食べます. So this will give you a chance to use the o particle to listen to the question of 今日は何を食べますか? And to conjugate the verb 食べます. So this is how you do it. 今日は何を食べますか? And you'll answer with 〇〇を食べます. After I get a few answers to this question, 今日は何を食べますか? What will you guys eat today? What are you planning on eating today? If you're already going to bed, then what are you planning on eating tomorrow? 明日は何を食べますか? What are you going to eat tomorrow? People in Japan, I imagine you're not going to be eating anything else tonight. Although maybe this question will make you hungry. So I'll let you answer that in chat. And after that, we're going to try conjugating a few verbs into their present tense. That's going to be the main event. Because what I want to show you guys is that using what we learned earlier, we can conjugate literally any verb in Japanese into its present tense form. Come to Japan says ハンバーグを食べました. He ate hamburger. That's an advanced conjugation that's coming in a few weeks.
Oh. The past tense.
All right, so just to illustrate the rules from earlier and showing you that if you pay close attention to those rules, you can conjugate any verb in Japanese, even if you don't know the verb, into its present tense or present negative. We're going to go over a few of those right now. So the first one is 食べる, right? The answer is 食べます. We notice this is an edu verb. So 食べる becomes 食べます, right? So the next one is 食べません. That's the negative. So I'm going to bring up another verb right now. 来る. Remember, this is an irregular. And I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and throw that verb conjugated either into the present or into the negative into the chat. So Earthly says 明日野菜を食べます. Ooh, you're going to eat vegetables. Nice. 我々 says Sophia. 肉を食べます. Who's miku? You mean niku? Niku means Niku means meat. I assume that's what you probably meant. Yeah, okay, good. So Simple is going to eat meat. 肉を食べます. By the way, to write wo, the wo particle on a Japanese keyboard, you type in wo, because technically it's the wo particle, right? So that's how you can get that if you are typing on an English keyboard. I ate ware, says Sophia. Niku, nice. Diglett says キャンディーを食べます. Ooh, Diglett is going to eat candy. Nice. Yuki says that sounds healthy. That still has an ounce of sense. Kimas, says Patrick. Yes, that is correct. I already forgot the never. I was going to say I'll never eat eggs. Tamago wo zenzen tabemasen. Zenzen tabemasen is what you would say. Tamago wo zenzen tabemasen. Or zenzen tamago wo tabemasen would also be fine. Can someone write that in the chat for me so that she can read it? Tamago wo zenzen tabemasen. So, Patrick, you are right. It is kimas, kimasen. Correct. Romora says, Kyou pasta o tabemashita. Ashita wa niku o tabemasu. Nice. Good sentence. Bananas for everyone. Zenzen is never. All right. So, to go. Iku. This is a normal godan verb. So, we're going to conjugate it, turning ku. Remember, we changed the u sound into an e sound, so we get iki. And I'll leave it to you from there. So, Tristan Jacobson says, Sakana wo tabemasu. I'm going to eat fish. Nice. Simple. It says, kimashita. Oh, that is the past tense of kuru. Nice. That's jumping ahead of the gun, but good conjugation. Dan says, Tamago o zenzen tabemasen. Thank you. And bananas from Yuki. Ii ne. Wait. Oops. All right. Waiting for iku. Oh, yeah. I like the sound of zenzen, or however you spell it. Yeah, that's correct. Zenzen, that's the correct spelling. I like it too. Zenzen tabemasen. Ikimasu, says Earthly. Nice, that is correct. Ikimasu, oops. And the negative is ikimasen. So let's go ahead and jump onto some more. We got nomu. I know we got some delay here, so it's going to take a little bit for people to answer. But as we go through these, there's about 5 or 6 more. The last ones are going to be verbs that I guarantee you've never heard of. And in fact, until I taught this lesson for the first time, I don't know, 6 months ago, I guess it's been already, I had never used them before either. But anyway, nomu, mu becomes mi. Ware ware is a very polite form of we. It means we in Japanese. Ikimasu is correct, Diglets. Nice. Diglets. So ware ware means we, as in we as a group, usually. So generally companies who are talking about themselves, Sophia, will use ware ware. Ware ware wa Toyota desu. We are Toyota, or something like that, right? Nomimasu, says Silmarie. Perfect. Nomimasu, yes, simple, correct. Nomimasu. Nomimasen. Perfect, Earthly. Nice. Nomimasen. On to sleep. Neru. Remember, neru. So N-E-R-U. Neru. So that's the next one. I know I got to give you guys at least 20 seconds because I have it on normal latency today, so we didn't have any problems with that. But anyway, yare yare means yare yare, right? What Psyche always says, Sophia? That means something like, nah, it can mean oh well, but it's more like it's expressing that something is annoying. It means he doesn't want to do something or someone is bothering him. Yare yare. It's like, oh, I don't want to see this person right now. Yare yare. Or someone said something stupid and you don't want to answer it. Yare yare. Right? It's expressing something is a pain in the neck. Kohi wo zenzen nomimasen, says Patrick. Wow, that must be rough. Nemasu, says everyone. Nice, very good. Nemasu, nemasen. All right, let's jump on to another verb. This is hashiru. Now remember, this sounds like an iru verb, but it's actually one of the exceptions, and I'm telling you that because, I'm telling you that because it would be very rude of me to tell you about an exception an hour and a half ago and expect you to remember all 10 of them already. So hashiru is an exception to the ichidan irueru verb rule. So it's just a normal godan verb. That's why I use it. Yare yare. Nice. Hashiru, right? I'll give you a few seconds to answer that one. I'm just going to sit back, relax, and wait for the answers. So there will be a moment of silence while I drink this water. Yuki threw a bed out in chat. Nice. Bananas for everyone. Hashirimasu. I think we might have some serious delay here. I much prefer having low latency, but hashirimasu. Ding, 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 ding. Simple. You got it. All right. Hashirimasu. And If we go for the negative, は知りません. Nice. Very good job. Don't know my exceptions yet. Yeah, don't worry about it. There's 10 of them. There's a lot. You'll have to go back and check those out. Nice. 走りません. Perfect. 走れ. Our next verb is to sit, which is 座る. Now, this one has not showed up in Genki yet, so you haven't seen it yet. And you probably don't know it. Some of you probably know it. But it means to sit. 座る. Now, even though you don't know it, you should be able to conjugate it. If you did it the way Genki told you in lesson 3, which is to memorize verbs in sets. So memorize the dictionary form, then the mas form, and the mas-in form together, you wouldn't know how to conjugate this because you didn't memorize it. You've never heard it. But since you know the rule, you can conjugate it. I promise you. It is a normal godan verb. 座る. 頑張ってください. Is this stream every Sunday on the same time? Earthly, this stream is every Sunday on the same time, but next Sunday will be the question and answer stream based on this stream. So the new lessons are every other Sunday because it takes me a very long time to... Well, I release Patreon lessons along with each of these lessons. So this morning on Patreon, I released 3 new videos related to lesson 3 on my Patreon. And it takes me 2 full weeks, even with no work, to make those videos. So within those 2 weeks, I figure everyone can get practice with that material. And then 2 weeks from now, I do a new lesson and release 3 new videos on the Patreon. So that's basically the path I'm going at. And then the weeks in between, I do a question and answer on the previous lesson. 座ります, 座りません. That is correct. Perfect. See? You can do it. You know the rules now. You can conjugate any verb. 座ります, 座りません. The next one is... another one that you haven't seen in Genki. 渡す, 渡す, to give. 渡す. Chocolate! What's that say? Banana を嫌いです. So Yuki gave you some chocolate. Nice. So this one is 渡す. So this is just a regular godan verb. So see if we can come up with that one. Thank you, Dan. And thank you to my new patrons tonight. I really appreciate you guys. When I play out the credits in a little bit, Nicholas Caruana, thank you for becoming a patron. Thank you so much. And Jonathan Siebold, you are a boss. You're both bosses. You're the best. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate it. Makes all the hard work super worth it. I hope you can get some great usage out of it. All right, so... 渡す, 渡します. Ding, ding, ding. Nice one, Romore. So if you want to say I sit, would you use 僕は座ります or would you use you would use は. So you're talking about yourself. You are the topic of this sentence. You're the one that's going to sit. So 僕は座ります. Yep. Definitely は. 渡します. Perfect. Nice. でもチョコレートを大好きです. Nice. Win. You work so much on this. I do. I really enjoy it. That's why. 渡します。渡しません. Perfect. Our next one is one that you probably won't need anytime soon, but it's to prove a point. This one is 包む. 包む. It means to wrap. So like to wrap up a gift or to wrap up a baby in cloth. 包む. 包む. There seems to be a lot of words for to give. There's a lot of words to give, but watasu means to actually physically hand something to someone. Watasu ne. If you're talking ageru or something like that, that also means to give, but it's a little bit different. I'll go over that in a future lesson, but watasu means to physically hand something to someone. Watashimasu, watashimasen. Correct, Sil. Nice. Tsutsumu. I think you might have gone through this earlier. You could use ni optionally as a time reference. For example, this weekend. When would you use wa? And when would you use ni, if at all, says Naomi. Naomi, welcome to the stream. Tsumimasu. Correct. Tsumimasu is correct. Tsumimasu, tsumimasen. I'll jump on to the next one as I answer Naomi's question. Tsumimasu, tsumimasen. The next one is to tie. This one is for something like tying your shoes or tying a knot. Musubu. Musubu. Tie your shoes. Musubu. See if you can conjugate that one while I answer Naomi's question. So, ni. 週末にどこかに行きます。 週末に the optional ones, right? 週末に versus 週末は. So if we use 週末は do something, the emphasis is the topic of the conversation is the weekend. The weekend is what we're talking about. Someone maybe is asked what we're going to do this weekend. So what we say is this weekend, with the topic of this weekend, we're going to do this. Now, ni indicates a when. So ni would put more emphasis on the activity. So 週末に something します. We're going to do something. So if you say 週末に, the emphasis is not on the weekend. The emphasis is on the activity. The weekend is just when you're going to do that activity. So it's a difference of emphasis. So if we're talking about the weekend and what we're going to do then, like what we're going to do is sort of secondary to when we're doing it. Wa. If we're talking about what we're going to do and we're just specifying when it's going to happen, then we would use the ni particle with 週末. Hope that makes sense. 結びます. Ding! 結びません. Very good job. The next one I didn't know for a very, very long time. I knew musubi because I have to tell kids, when I worked at the kindergarten for 4.5 years, I had to tell kids to tie their shoes all the time. But ほどく, which means to untie, I've never used until a couple months ago when I made this lesson for the first time. And I learned this. ほどく. But I guarantee you, you can conjugate it now. 結びます. 結びません. Close. 結びません. I imagine that's just a quick mistake, but 結びます. 結びません. Correct. 結びません. All right, so this one is ほどく. And I think it's the last one. It means to untie. I believe in you. You're welcome. I hope that made sense. Oops. Kicking around my thingy over here. ほどきます. Ding! ほどきます. See if we can get the negative while I wait here. This is our last one. ほどきます. Nice. Whoa. Whoa, says Seabolt. What's up? Was it the sound from me hitting my mic? Anyway, yes. ほどきます. Perfect. Two different words. ほどきません. Perfect. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. You would expect it to be musubimasu, and then some kind of negative for musubimasen, like to untie. But nope, it's a completely different word. ほどく, musubu. ほどく is the opposite of musubu. ほどきません. Perfect. Very good job. All right. Oh, there was one more. One more word, and that is kobosu. I put this one in because look at that kanji. How crazy is that kanji? We've got water, we've got a couple plates, we got a plate on the bottom, we've got stuff all up on top. It's a natso kanji, and it's called kobosu, which means to spill. I use this one a lot at the kindergarten as well because kids like to spill. Well, they don't like it, but they do spill milk a lot. Kobosu. I believe in you guys. I believe you can conjugate this into the present polite, which is technically the future in Japanese. And that will be it for tonight. And then we can just hang out for, wow, it's been 2 hours. I knew this one was going to be long. This is going to be the longest one of the whole series, I think, though. So hopefully it's somewhat as, I think maybe the original lesson on conjugation was more useful. I feel like I gave a better explanation the first time, but what can you do? Koboshimasu. Ding! Very good job, Romores. Excellent. Koboshimasu. And koboshimasen. Exactly, Earthly. Nice. And good job, Diglets. Nice. Koboshimasu. Koboshimasen. Wonderful. Excellent job, everyone. いいねを押してください. That means please hit the like button. And if you haven't already, channel. Oh, I didn't spell it right. I missed an N. Channel 登録お願いします. Let's go ahead and fix that right now. Channel F7. Make it big. Oh, and that pushed up my ine button. So now it's all a big mess. I'll have to fix that anyway. But anyway, please hit the like button. Hit everything else. Hit all the buttons. And yeah. Fun stuff. Koboshimasu. Useful and fun, says Dan. Thank you so much. These are so useful. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm hoping the new format is working out for you guys. I think my explanation in the first lesson 3 was better, but the rest of the material in this one was better, so I'm happy with that. So thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you to my new patrons. I hope that you find the content on Patreon really useful. And I hope that anyone that's watching this on the replay has also found this lesson useful as well. But I've had a really fun time, and I would love to sit around and chat for a while longer. But it's already 11, and Yuki has work in the morning despite the world situation. So that's going to be that. But otsukare-sama deshita. Thank you so much, everyone. Diglett says, read chapter 3 through like 3 times. None of this has stuck at all well until now. Thanks, Andy, said Diglett. I'm so happy to hear that. That kind of feedback is why I still do this, because knowing that something that people have had a hard time understanding, I've been able to make a little bit clearer, like makes everything worth it. Thank you so much. Thanks for letting me know. These are great. What days do you stream? I stream lessons on Sunday at this same time. So I do 1 week I do lessons. So today I did lesson 3. So next Sunday will be a question and answer session based on this lesson. So we'll go through the whole thing sort of again, but more sort of just seeing if people have questions on it. I'm not going to cover it all again, but maybe people can come back after they've digested it for a week. And if they came up with any questions, they can ask me and I answer them live on stream next Sunday. Then the following Sunday, I do lesson 4. And I do this every Sunday for the foreseeable future. Thank you, says Sil. Thank you. Thank you, Carpe Diem. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you, everyone, so much. I'm leaving. I finished 2 Romaji workbooks. I have a Genki workbook coming this week. I thought it was 3rd edition, but afraid it's not. I'll let you know. It's okay. It'll still be good, I think. Around what time do you start? I start at 9 p.m. Japanese time, which is 8 a.m. on the East Coast of the United States. So there is, yeah, same time every week. And I do gaming streams at random times. Every Tuesday I do a game stream at 8 p.m. Japanese time. And then I've been doing morning streams of Yakuza 0, which is, it's all in Japanese, but like the subtitles are in English. But that's been really fun too. So if you want to hang out during those, I'm happy to ask questions about Japanese in any of my streams, whether it's about Japanese or just a game or whatever. Wow, I'm sweaty looking. All right, so anyway, thanks, Andy. Verbs is where I struggle with the language at school, but this made a ton of sense. I'm so happy to hear that, Mia-Rose. Thanks. Appreciate it. Otsukare-sama deshita, minasan. Games on Tuesday because you're the man. So are you, Seabolt. Check out Seabolt Speaks and Come to Japan Dan. They both had an interview with each other this morning. And I did an interview on Seabolt Speaks about language learning and Japanese and stuff as well over on his channel. So go check that out. Give him a subscribe, him and Dan. And anyone else here who has a YouTube, feel free to throw your information up in chat as I go ahead and play the thank you to my Patreon members.
Nihongo 日本語勉強したいのか？俺と同じ風に日本語を喋れるようになりたいのか？この本持ってるのか？え、そうなの？俺は無理って言おうと思った。On the ToKini Andy Patreon, we have listening and shadowing practice, Genki vocabulary practice, Genki textbook practice where Yuki, Ando, and I are your partners. Eventually, even workbook practice. え、そうなの？給料出る？
確かに。
Yeah, sure.
給料出るんだ。
After Genki 1, we'll be covering Genki 2, and eventually even intermediate textbooks. Detailed grammar lessons and Japanese Q&As will, as always, be on the YouTube for free. ToKini Andy Patreon, live right now. よろしくね。
よろしくお願いします。
And thank you to my new Patreon members who weren't on that list. Nicholas, I believe, and Seabolt Speaks. Yes, thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Have a great night, everyone. See you next time. This has been ToKini Andy. Have a great day. Have a great night. Have a great everything. Love you guys. Bye.